here we are, the culmination of Marvel's Phase 1 of their Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Avengers, or Avengers Assemble if you were in the UK. This was the referendum on whether everyone had been enjoying and following along with the previous entries in Marvel's Cinematic Universe. And boy did it pay off in spades, where at the time it was the third highest grossing film of all time. At the time of its release, this film was a huge deal. I remember seeing this opening day with a group of friends and the theater was just packed. Queues and queues of people lining up to check out Marvel's big event. The hype was unreal and I think it's safe to say that it definitely paid off. While I do think we've seen better MCU films since this came out, I do think the impact and legacy of this movie is something that'll be remembered forever. It jump-started Hollywood's obsession with shared movie universes after all. This obviously brought in director Joss Whedon to come in, who's a massive comic book fan and already had a pretty big following for his shows like Buffy and Firefly. And considering this was his first directing gig since Serenity, as Joss had very much been known for his work in television, in this first Avengers you can definitely see that this is him coming off his work from TV, which I think, having rewatched the film, is a criticism that I find is still valid. Avengers Age of Ultron is a much more cinematic looking film and shows Joss progressing as a film director, which is why I definitely prefer the look of that film. The Avengers was filmed at a 1.851 aspect ratio, while most other films use a 2.931 format, making the film feel more squished rather than having a more dynamic and cinematic feel. The choice was made here to include more of the Hulk in the frame without compromising the other actors on screen, so this can result in a lot of the action happening in the middle of the screen while the rest of the space in the shot isn't really used, which is what can make it feel like you're watching a TV show, since TV shows do have different aspect ratios to films. This is an issue that I know many people have brought up in the past, and as the film starts to age more and more, it is more noticeable. But of course, Joss's strength is in his writing and working with actors. And that's what's on full display here, and that's what people absolutely love about the first Avengers movie. What you get is a sense of how much love Joss Whedon has for a lot of these characters. The way they're all incrementally reintroducing us to each of the heroes, making them still feel like the characters we'd seen in the previous films, but now have them brought together and interact with each other, where these larger-than-life personalities absolutely clash. Not all of them get as much screen time as the others. Thor doesn't really show up to about 40 minutes into the film, but seeing Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, the Hulk, all on screen teaming up together is still an incredible feat, and it's amazing to watch even to this day. Joss seriously beefs up Black Widow, giving Scarlett Johansson far more to do in this film than in Iron Man 2, as well as giving Hawkeye a proper supporting role. Although the whole mind control thing still feels a bit of a cop-out to the character, it's fun seeing these supporting heroes integrated into the main four Avengers, and that big rotating shot of all the Avengers finally together with that Alan Silvestri score sweeping around is still as exciting today as it was back in 2012. All of the heroes really come into their own here, and Whedon's script does wonders to make them all feel very real and enjoyable to be around. This is the film that got the Hulk right, that went, hey, people want to see the big green guy jumping around, punching bad guys, and smashing stuff up. And that's exactly what you get here. We get a little bit of the inner conflict Bruce Banner has with trying to keep the Hulk at bay, just enough to make us care about Bruce Banner, and my god, how good is Mark Ruffalo in this movie? He is the perfect Bruce Banner. The movie is just full of so many fan moments, from the character banter and meeting up for the first time, to the fight between Captain America, Iron Man and Thor in the forest, to Iron Man flying towards a giant portal in the sky with aliens flying out, and all the Hulk moments, of course, with Hulk punching Thor and Hulk using Loki as a ragdoll, all still very entertaining, still very fun. Yes, the story here is fairly simple. It's the Avengers having to assemble to prevent Loki from taking over the Earth. And it started the whole obsession with Hollywood using sky portals as a plot device in superhero movies. I still think the first 10 to 15 minutes of this film could be cut or reshaped, as it's just setting up S.H.I.E.L.D. having the Tesseract, which we'd already seen in Captain America 1 and Thor 1. We get Loki receiving the scepter and coming to Earth to steal the Tesseract, which is something I definitely feel could have been revealed later on. I think you could have definitely just dropped us into meeting our heroes, getting us reintroduced to them again, and then learning about their mission at the same time as they do in the film. I think that would have made the film a bit more engaging and a bit more interactive. Characters like Phil Coulson and Nick Fury also benefit from Whedon's screenplay, giving them a bit more likability and character, rather than just, say, Phil Coulson just being the suit that he was in the previous films, before of course his inevitable demise at the hands of Loki. Although he is resurrected in the TV world, we get an introduction to Cobie Smulders as Maria Hill, who doesn't really get a great deal to do in this film, and is more the right-hand woman to Nick Fury. Stellan Skarsgård returns from Thor, this time as another mind-controlled minion of Loki. But seriously, everything right with this film just comes down to the writing and performances. Robert Downey Jr. gets some wonderful lines like, "We have a Hulk," and I've always loved seeing Tony Stark and Bruce Banner come together and forming a friendship just based on their scientific backgrounds. Even if Tony's just trying to prod Banner to become the Hulk, we get to really see Chris Evans as Captain America form into the leader of the Avengers that we now know him to be. While Chris Hemsworth definitely molds more into the character of Thor and seems to be having a lot more fun in this film than he was in the first Thor. And again, they get the Hulk so right in this film. This film also cemented Loki as the best villain that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has given us to date. He just has so much more to his personality here, and you get to see so much more of Tom Hiddleston's charm than what was on offer in the first Thor film. Overall, The Avengers is still an outrageously entertaining comic book film, very much a comic book brought to life, and while I do think there are some parts that don't hold up as well as when the film was originally released, and I think some newer MCU films have surpassed this, I don't think you can deny how outright important and influential this film was to the superhero genre and the film industry as a whole. The Avengers gets an 8.5 out of 10 from me. Guys, I hope you liked this review. We'll be doing more MCU reviews leading up to the release of Avengers Infinity War. Stay tuned for Iron Man 3. If you want to see more Marvel reviews, check out the previous ones we've done on the channel. Don't forget to stay right here for your mono fix. Bye guys.